Chris Wallace, aka Notorious Big, was an African American man at the age of 18 began to take the nation by storm. He was known as a teenager to be the big kid on the block, standing 6'3", weighing from 300 to 380 pounds. He was surprisingly smart and a gifted rapper as well. He took rap music to its peak and paved the way for rappers today. He changed the culture of his time, making the American dream seem much more possible to areas full of gangs and crime. But before Big could start his rise to fame, he had to give up selling illegal drugs. Now, Big wasn't a guy who enjoyed the life he lived by any means. He dreamed of making money as a rapper so he wouldn't have to sell drugs. He was a man who did what he had to do to feed his daughter. This is one reason why I respect Big and consider him to be a role model, even though he hasn't always made good lifestyle choices. As Big got big in the music industry, the hip-hop feud was becoming ever more dangerous. Big lost close friends due to shootings, whether fatal or not, in the early 90s. He lost his friend, Tupac Shakur, as he was coming up to see Big in the recording studio. Tupac was jumped in the lobby by a gang and was shot. This didn't kill him, but it stained his memory and associated in his mind that Big was in on the shooting, ruining their relationship. Big used this type of grief of losing a friend to make hit records that set the standard for the rap world of the 90s. This was typical of Big, as he was known to overcome and defeat anything that would be thrown at him. Big proved that it didn't matter where you lived, who you were, or what you looked like. As long as you put in the time and effort, you could be whatever you wanted to be. His journey from a young kid selling drugs and going nowhere fast to a music superstar, living life to the fullest and doing what he loved. Along the way, he betrayed his perseverance when he lost his close friends due to the fame. During Big's rise to fame, there was an East Coast-West Coast gang war, and that kind of adversity that he had to overcome is what makes Big as influential to me as he is today. Chris Wallace was a man who decided to take his life into his own hands. He decided that he wasn't going to get locked up for selling drugs or risk dying because of the drug trade. He chose to make his money the clean way, by selling records and performing concerts. His display of mind over matter is what makes Big so influential to me. He is a role model, even though it may not meet the ideal standard. I respect Big and what he did, and rap music would not be the same today if it was not for the notorious B.I.G.